And we're live from the living room as Doug eyes up the matchday spread. He's reaching for the buffalo wing. Perfect! Hang on, what's this? Oh, he's gone for a can of Pepsi too! Incredible! What a finish! Sensational combination! Look at the delight on his face. There's no doubt about it. It just tastes better. Match days deserve Pepsi. Food deserves Pepsi. Grab a pack of Pepsi Zero Sugar for today's match. It's poetry in motion.
Sunday morning, Steve Cates, otherwise known as Dr. Sky. Well, there's some interesting situations, and maybe we're not going to talk about outer space today. Maybe we're going to talk about inner space. Dr. Sky, Steve Cates, what's going on in inner space?
Well, good morning, John, and the listeners. Happy Father's Day, and also the beginning of summer. That occurred 4:24 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. It's set for a long and what might be very hot and wet summer for many.
And it's what corresponds with that date is the longest day, day of sunshine versus nighttime.
Absolutely, John. And these days out here are obviously some hours here that the sun is up, 14 hours and 30 minutes, making it the longest, as you said. But we're going to talk about inner space right now. And here's some interesting stories. Strange rumblings under Utah. Well, we hear about earthquakes, John, as we know, all over the world. But since 1979, there was a 3.8 on the Richter scale earthquake. And astronomers, geologists, and all are trying to figure out where and how is all this rumbling taking place, kind of on a regular basis. So here it is, 55 miles below the surface of the Earth, John, which is very deep for many earthquakes. It's somewhere in the Earth's mantle. So we look at the crust, and we go into the mantle, and then we go deeper into the outer core and the inner core. So really, nobody really understands what's happening, but it might be because of great deep tectonic plates. You know, these are the things that shift on the Earth, which truly do cause many of the earthquakes. But John, in summary, it's unusual to have something so deep, and this is something that seismologists are studying. Nothing to worry about per se, but we're continuing to learn about the mysteries of the Earth.
Well, any speculation? What is it?
Not really. It could be that material. Remember, the inner part of the Earth is molten. So there could be, and there's pretty good accuracy in this guesstimate here, that material moving from the inner core may be forcing its way up. And that's magma, which is what the stuff you see when volcanoes explode, that stuff you don't want to get close to. So again, John, the Earth is a living creature, if you want to call it, or a living being. And as we always talk about, and we are in total harmony, you and I, over the course of all these extinctions, the Earth has this amazing ability to heal itself. So we'll have to continue to study more. And even geologists don't really know all that about the true mechanism of earthquakes.
You're absolutely right. Now, the ocean.
Yes.
There were some stories about a strange cold spots in the ocean.
Yes,
How does a
John.
cold spot happen with everything around that is a different temperature?
Nobody really understands. This is off Greenland. And if you look at these thermal maps of the Earth from satellites, thank God for satellite technology, we're seeing, as we reported just a moment ago, these bluish areas, which are obviously the opposite of red areas that would show up as heat signatures. So it may be due to something in the Earth, these different things like the jet stream. And off the Atlantic coast, we know that this powerful jet stream moves warm water up. So there's this cyclonic-type motion that the Earth is very much dependent on. Now, I don't want to go into climate change and say that's the causation, but it could very well be, and those that believe in the changes of the Earth, climate change, and things of that. But we don't really know, John, so I'm not going to jump to the conclusion that it's man-made. But there's something happening where there's something called the AMOC current. Rather technical but simple. It's a current like the Gulf Stream that's moving and usually transport warm water up. But there's a distinct signature when you look on these satellite maps of these cold blobs that sit there. Something unusual, meaning simply what? One of the source problematic things is that the ocean currents are changing, and we're really not sure derivatives of what the real causation is.
Sunday morning, what else would you like to talk about?
Well, John, we have some interesting news. For those of you that are big fans of space, vehicles like the Hubble Space Telescope satellites and the James Webb Telescope, what could be better than that? Well, there's going to be a launch, John, on August the 30th. It's the Nancy Grace Roman Telescope. Now, who was Nancy Grace? She was one of the chief astronomers at NASA for so long, and she's actually referred to as the mother of Hubble. because her persuasion and her work helped us generate something even more spectacular than in the 1970s, the Hubble Space Telescope. But here it is. This particular telescope, known as the Nancy Grace Roman Telescope, should be launched on a Falcon Heavy rocket on or about August 30th. Its purpose, John, is to do better astronomy. How can you do that? It also has to compete with the James Webb Telescope, but it will see in the infrared, searching for exoplanets and moving on to the mystery of what we know or we don't know about dark energy and dark matter, two of the most confusing things in quantum physics, John. And if we could figure it out, that's probably something to do with gravity, but this telescope will give us bigger eyes, better resolution, and we hope the launch goes well.
Wow. Okay. Well, Steve Cates, Dr. Sky, thank you for calling in today, and hopefully we'll get down to the bottom of it. Some of those underwater vehicles that I've seen on the new investigative thing that the government is releasing, that they travel underwater as fast as 200-300 miles an hour, knots an hour. I don't know what it is, but how can you travel that fast underwater?
No idea, John. That's why I listen to the Dr. Sky Experience every Friday and Saturday, midnight to 2 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. As we continue as other great hosts here on this radio station, hopefully we'll get the disclosure information that we want. But simply, John, we don't have that technology, at least not that I would believe, of doing submersibles that travel fast as maybe even aircraft in air. A great mystery, and that's what we talk about, the great mysteries.
Well, thank you so much, and we'll talk to you again real soon.
Have a great day.